Test. Wahoo! Why does that sound? Wait, is that Super Mario? No. Wahoo! Yeah, that's Super Mario. Why did I just sound like this Italian plumber? Oh my god. Maybe I should switch. Maybe I should just switch. What's it? Jobs, careers, paths, and I just become an Italian plumber. Hey Jason. Hey Absolute Alien. Hi. How are you doing? Because you look like Mary. You've got the what is it in English? The Schnauzbart. You have the wait 1 second. There is that the right button? Yes, of course. I do have like the full beard, not too much, of course, but wahoo! What's Mary? Hi Artox, hi. What's going on? The mustache. Yes, you have a mustache. You're rocking it. I can't really. I barely have this. Right. I would love to really grow out my beard more, but I just get stubbles on the side here. It's quite nothing. Hey Gordon, hi. How is everyone doing? So, make a guess what I've been doing all day. I have been teaching TIA Portal online classes right now. They are fun, but I've been teaching this for 8 hours today already. Hey Robbie, hi. How you doing? Mario, the PLC plumber. There's a new Mario movie. I'm looking forward to the new Mario movie. The last one I enjoyed, the Mario movie, the animated one. And there's Mario, Super Mario Galaxy, which, believe it or not, I am too old for Super Mario Galaxy. I am an OG boy. I've played Super Mario on my Game Boy, and then I played Super Mario on my Super Nintendo. No, not even Super Nintendo. I did not have a pure like Nintendo, an NES. I started with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System with the NES, or as the Japanese might know it, the Famicom. Yeah, but I am an OG Mario player. God, that's long ago. Hey, Factory Solutions. Hey, from Africa. Hi. Hey Claudio, hi. How's everyone? David as well. Hamdi in the chat there. Is Siemens Learning Portal? I mean, yes. That's what we do here, right? We do the TIA portal. Am I feeling better than last stream? Very good question. Wait, do you see my ears? My ear is extremely red. Oh, do you see that? That is. Oh, I think you can actually see it on camera. This is two indications, right? That I'm not feeling 100%, like that my blood circulation is quite high, and also that I am very tired. I feel better. It's not perfect yet. I still have a small headache every now and then, but I am just extremely tired because I work and then I sleep. I didn't really sleep too well. Oh my goodness! But I mean, I'm still doing fine. Thanks for asking. Never too old to play. Yeah, I do have like never too old to play with a plumber on mushrooms. I do have a Switch. I don't have a Switch 2. I don't think it's worth it. But with the Switch 2, with the Switch, I do also, of course, play. What's the new one? Super Mario World or no? Super Mario something. Like I do like Mario games. A little bit jump and run here and there is fun. Have I worked with PCS7? I have started. I have worked with PCS7 before TIA Portal was out there. TIA Portal didn't exist when I worked with PCS7. Hey Ice9, hi from Portugal. Hey. Your name's Rue, you haven't changed my. Yeah, I have had like Hega/Hegamol, that's my nickname since I was like 6 or so. Don't know. My brother called me that and it ever stuck to me. Like Hagar. Not Hagar Mole, but yeah. Jason had the NES at a friend's house. Yeah, I didn't have an NES. We had a Sega Mega Drive, 16-bit entertainment system. That was the console that my brother and I got for Christmas 30-ish years ago. That was fun to play with. No, I did. I started with PCS7. So PCS7 was my start into this world. Then I went with Step 7 in Semantic Manager, and when TI Portal came out, I went with TI Portal. Yeah. Hamdi, oh, that was the question. If I'm teaching in Siemens official learning or private, I do both. I do it all. Today I was teaching 8 hours class for C-Train, which is the official Siemens training department. Yeah. No discussion on advanced AI architectures. No, I'm not going to enter AI architectures today. What we will do today is I have not prepared too much, right? I was quite busy, but I still didn't want to skip a TIA Tuesday. maybe I'm gonna skip next week because of Christmas, right? It's one day before Holy Eve. Is it called Holy Eve? Before Heiligabend, before the holiday day that everyone in Germany celebrates. Not everyone, but most people celebrate. So maybe I'll take that day next week. But I will let you know on time. I will probably just stream for a bit, but we'll see. I will let you know. Have I tested the last streams in OB30? I did not test it. I had it on my list, but I couldn't test it. I was quite busy. I was really also my energy was low, felt sick a bit, so I didn't really test anything. I had it on my mind, and I was like, let's test this, but I always forgot it when I was at my PC. Right? It's this stuff that you plan on doing, but I didn't do it. Shall we do something related to motion controls and safety PLCs at some point? Binuk. Yes, definitely. Heiligabend is Christmas. Is it just Christmas Eve? The 24th? Oh, Christmas Eve because it is before Christmas. The night before Christmas, I would say. Huh. Have I looked at... Oh, David asks if I have looked at PCS Neo. I have not. But I know it is the new control system. It takes over from PCS 7. I have not personally looked at it. I know about it, but there's so many things to see, right? I have specialized myself into TIA Portal, so I didn't really touch PCS Neo. At some point I will, but it's kind of a different world. Right? OPC-UA, hey, that's a good idea. I've got that on my list because and now let me get started here. Because what I can actually do now in this crazy thing here with Factory.io, because I got the full version, is I can actually set this up. I think with an OPC UA client, so I can actually control this machine with an OPC connection, which I will do at some point. The problem with this is I would have to set up an OPC server, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but is a paid server principle. So I would have to get a license for a paid OPC server, which I will have to see if it really fits. I will do at some point, but I will have to find the right place, the right time. Yeah, you're trying to get away from putget. Yes, don't use putget. OPC UA is perfect for that. Rakesh asks about pop-ups and Visual Basic scripts. I do have a video about pop-ups. I didn't do anything with Visual Basic scripts. I haven't done Visual Basic in probably 20 years. But I have it on my list, definitely. Yeah. You like to live dangerous. No, I don't live dangerous. Nah. No putget for me. Let's have a look. So as I said, I don't have too much time, so small talk also a bit short today, and I can still feel I'm pretty hot. I'm pretty hot as well, but I'm pretty warm. Like you see my ears, I'm burning up. Like my energy is so low. I should actually lay in bed right now, which isn't because I'm sick. I still have a slight headache, but this is just low energy, and my body tries to compensate. Hey Nick, hi from Greece. Yeah. So let's see if I can even do. I couldn't even get the energy to prepare really for this today. So sorry. This will be like we're doing this on the fly a little bit, right? Now I will give you some information of what the plan is today, and it is a very, very cool, very interesting topic for me. Especially for me, because I do not only do TIA Portal programming, right? I also do other high-level programming stuff, like app development with C# and those kind of things, where there are some really cool concepts out there that like TIA Portal, for example, didn't really touch in the past. Now, newer systems, and now let's get into the topic while I have some energy. Thank you, Gordon. It's just sleep. I'm just tired. I don't have to really get well. I just need sleep. I really didn't sleep well today and yesterday. Which is fine. I will. This will be a quick one, and then I'll go to sleep, or at least I will lay on the couch, watch some movies or like series or so. Yeah. which I'm in the middle of rewatching. No, I'm almost done rewatching Stranger Things, and now with the Stranger Things finale coming out, I'm right on time. So no spoilers. I haven't seen the first couple of episodes of the new season. No spoilers. I've avoided mostly everything until now. But I'm looking forward to that. Okay. Topic. Let's stop distracting me. Let's get to the topic there. So Miga has found guidelines to the software units. We will not really use those guidelines, right? Right now, I will show you what it is. We will get in there. There might be guidelines. Oh, let's see. Okay, Miga has more information. The machine application part of the PLC could be structured into software units in multiple ways. Standard structure, combined structure, and hierarchical structure. How those are different. Is this how those are different? Is this leading into the next sentence? Wait, I should just display the stream. Why am I not displaying the chat on the stream? I've just realized that's such an easy thing to do. God. Let's have a look, right? Now, your program structure is, generally speaking, pretty bad. Yes, you personally, talking to you. Especially Jason. Put get absolute addressing, pointers. Shame on you, right? I'm sorry, I'm tired. I didn't say I'm not correct. I just said I'm tired. Perfect. No, sorry. So, now, why am I saying that? Because it is kind of true, right? PLCs and all of our systems, they have been developing through the last decades. And there has been one change in the last years. It's not even been that long, right? In the last couple of years, that also changes, right? That also changes how we view PLC programs. Everything changes more into a, hey, I'm a programmer kind of way, away from, hey, we are doing machine design, we have like a control system. We're moving away from that more to like a programming kind of way. And that is also what we will touch today. We will talk about a little bit software units. Right? Now, in the past, right, when you had a system, and this will be my example system for today, I'm not going to program it in any big extended way, but we do have this system here. Right? Now, this system overall, of course, we could program, we would be doing all of this. I'm not going to program this. Don't worry, Hotdogs. No. This is not going to be interesting there. I could program this in, of course, one program. And that's what we would be doing, right? So let's have a look at this. Right? So I do have many machine parts. So I would have, for example, in my program blocks, I would start structuring, hey, it's just the concept, exactly. So I do have, let's have this side by side here. Let's see if you see everything that I say. That's all my windows that I have open there. I don't need more. And factory IO. So, right? So in a standard program, you would go on ahead and you have multiple functions, multiple function blocks for all of your things here. So in my case, I do have conveyors. Exit conveyor, basis conveyor, another basis conveyor, and normally even, right? Normally even, what we would be doing, right, is I would make a block. This block is now a function block, and I would describe to my PLC the general concept of a conveyor. I think we can all agree on that. Right? The general concept conveyor. Now, a conveyor, I can define this, has an interface. A conveyor can go forward button, right? Forward input, forward. It has a reverse input or rewind. I don't know. Forward, reverse, right? I would say. So Artux loves PLC programming, but you kind of don't like. And you want more C# program. I mean, that's not really what we're going to do. We could touch SCL with this, but it's more about the concept here, right? So every conveyor has a forward, reverse. Maybe they also have a sensor, right? There we go, of course. And then they can go motor forward, So motor, forward, they have outputs, motor, reverse, that's it, right? Doesn't matter, right? This is just the conceptual thing. That is what we have, conveyors. Sure. Nothing crazy about this, I would say. Now, we also do have those things here. I do have those things, like the robot units here, the crazy ones. And by the way, this is the first time that I've opened this scene. I opened it like 5 minutes ago. Actually, like 20 minutes ago, 5 minutes before the stream. I didn't even look at it. We're talking concepts. It's not going to work in the end. So I do have this cage here, for example, and I do have this cage. I do have those robot units. So I would also have another block, robot units, right? Again, function block, it has its own inputs, it has its own outputs, yada, 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 right? And then also, what is quite important for the concept now is we do also have, for example, an operator panel here, and I also do have an operator panel here. So 2 robot units, 2 operator panels. So I would also have like a block. Let's make this a function. Doesn't really matter, right? And I'll call this operator panel. Right? Doesn't matter what's in there. We just have this function. Now, this, of course, operator panel would in the end use information. It would store what is our current mode, yada yada. Right? So I would store this in data blocks. And this is where our problems really will start. So I do have my data block. The first data block is responsible for this, for remembering what's going on in the first machine. The second one will remember what's happening in the second machine here. So I do have my data block for, let's say this is operator panel 1. And I will need, of course, another data block, maybe with the same structure for operator panel 2. Now, one main problem in this concept is that those both exist here kind of on the same level, and we kind of cannot name them. Oh, of course, I also have the function that is the same name, right? So I kind of have to give them all different names, all of this stuff. Okay. Now, more problems more things in this concept. In my main block, if I have operator panel for station 1 and 2, right, I am going to stop it with your proper naming. I will not argue with you. Like, I'm not going to yell at you if you do like pointers, and you will not yell at me for proper naming. You will see where I'm going, what I'm aiming at in a second here. But you're right, the naming is also pretty bad right now. Nevertheless, right, I will have operator panel 1 here, and operator panel 1 uses some kind of data structure that we would have here from this operator panel. Right? It would just use some data. Let's say it has in and outputs. If we need those later on. Right? Then I have my operator panel 2, right, which uses the same FC, but this one would now use the data from the second one here, right? Let's actually do this. Let's have some inputs and outputs. So the operator panels, they have button 1, or let's say button manual, and they have button auto. There we go. And maybe they have an LED that displays to us what the current mode is. And they're both set up in the same way, which this is already a problem. Right? And there we go. This operator panel function should use those, right? 2 inputs, manual button, auto, and we have a status at the output. There we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, nothing really complex with this yet. Right. Here we go. And I would, of course, use the in and outputs for the operator panel. Now I could have done this with a PLC data type, UDT, with a user-defined type. Doesn't matter, we have this now. This concept now has many problems, but let's see. Hey, Heman, or Hymans. Right now you're working as an engineer, an automation engineer, as a trainer. Thanks a lot for cheating. Big thanks also to Jason. Hey, there we go. Thank you. Industrial network, we do have a lot of industrial network system on the list. Yeah, that's not just industrial networking. There is many different industrial networking types. I've got plenty specific ones on the list. So, yeah. Okay. Right? So we have those as example. And then we have many, many conveyor systems there. Right? And then we also have here in the end, right? Let's say we do have more stuff here in the end. This is, and we do, right? So in total, what I would say, and let's pretend it is this way. I will not create the whole program now, but let's say we do have, this looks like a little heart. Love it. You see the heart as well, right? Like this and like that. We do have this little heart. Love it. Okay, now, we could say also that our system here consists of a couple of subsystems, right? We do have our supply. I would say all of those conveyors here in the beginning are called our supply subsystem. Hey Dane, you're not late. I just started 20 minutes ago. Right? So we have the supply subsystem. We do have the subsystem of robot unit 1, where I will just say robot 1 or, yeah, robot 1. Doesn't matter exactly what it does. Right? Then we have our robot unit 2. Robot 2. And we also have our outputs there in the end. Right? So the, what are they called? The output, let's say the storages. Doesn't matter. Storage 1, and we also have storage 2. Hey Mika, we can always use FBs with multi-instances. Yes, of course. I didn't do any. I'm skipping like a lot of the good parts there, right? Because we want to concentrate on one topic. Now you can see all of this. This is our system structure, and that would be pretty common to structure your system, your machines into substations, subsystems, however you want to call them. Now hey Zinger, yes, of course our program worked last week. I did a mistake, but overall it worked, yes. I didn't make it perfect, still worked. Now one problem that we have with this though, is that we do just have one PLC, right? So very classically seen, you could install a PLC here, you could install a PLC there, a PLC here, a PLC there, a PLC there. So we might have 5 different PLCs, which is nice if we have the money and if we have the space and if we have the capacities and so on, right? Yeah. Yeah, Mika, I know what you mean, but so we could right now structure our program also the existing one, the quick one that I come up with, but that is not the problem right now, right? We want to do something much bigger than that. Right? Hey Hole from Australia. Industrial Sparky trying to get to my head around this stuff. You're very welcome. I do those. I'm having fun with them. I will do them as long as I'm having fun and as long as we are a cool community here. So we do have this. You could imagine each of those has one controller. However, how many controllers do we have? Hey Mahmoud, hi. We do have one controller. Now this brings me to a lot of nice things, a lot of not so nice things, but in the end, that's my current scenario. One thing that we have, for example, is if I need to make a change in this station, it has an influence on everything else, right? It has. Like if I create a new data block, I must not use names of data blocks that already exist, for example. That's what we have. So I have to pay attention of the rest of my program, which obviously is pretty normal. You have to do, sure, but we can use like something that we could say pretends to be many individual PLCs. We can split our system into smaller control subsystems. Right? And this will be our so-called software units. They have a ton of advantages over normal programs, but also, but also, um, but also you have to know what you're doing, and you have to have the correct hardware for this. But they are, I would say, one of the things that you will see in all future projects, at least of medium size and big size and so on. But you will see software units being used in pretty much everything in the future. Now, if I say software units, what do I actually mean? Right? Now, if I look at my system here, why can I not drag that down? Right? We have those 5 subsystems. Right? And right now I do have one program and I have one main program. So if I do a change in anything, I have to re-download my complete program, having an influence on all other parts. Whatever having an influence means right now, at least the PLC will stop. Maybe all of the memory will be reinitialized. Yeah, but I definitely have an impact on everything else. Right? Mahmoud asking a very good question there. What about program execution and priority of all these programs in the same PLC? It is still sequential. The PLC internal behavior will not change too much. Right? It's more for us as programmers. So what I will do is I will, instead of using my normal program here, which still is part of the normal program, I might use software units. Now, imagine this. You have different machine parts, and each of those, well, is one software unit. Right? So I will have a so-called software unit, right, for my supply. I'm going to call this supply. I will have a software unit for robot 1. I will have a software unit for robot 2. I will have a software unit for storage 1. I will have a software unit for storage 2. Now, those are now, and I will also have one for an overall or a general tab, I would say. Right? That takes care of all the general kind of stuff. Now, you see, this is already kind of nicely organized, but we could have also done like sub groups in my program folder here. I could have also have a general group, put everything general in there. I could have also done a robot 1 and so on. So far, nothing exciting. Still the same, right? Now, what we do though, right, is we will now organize our program nicely. Right? And this is definitely complex, especially the concepts here. But stay with me, right? Now, for let's say the supply, which is the first thing here. Right? For the supply, we do have our own program blocks. It has its own PLC tags. That is already interesting, and its own PLC data types. So for this, for example, the supply, I would now add new tables. Of course, this would have like its own IOs, right? Which I will not create now because that would be annoying. But you could imagine, of course, this has its own IO tables, right? Which is nice already. Let's actually create one. No. Let's pretend I have created it. The same would go for storage 1, for storage 2, for robot 1, for robot 2, and for general, right? That's the first thing. They have their individual PLC tags. Now this is already separated, right? I'm already asking questions that are already taking something ahead, right? So which one of those has priority? None yet. They are just software units. They don't even do anything yet. There is no program in any of those. So now if I pop my main program, for example, I take my main block, right, from my main program, from the standard. This is there was a question earlier on and I forgot. Let me see again. Someone posted the half of the documentation there. Miga said earlier on, the machine application part of the PLC could be structured into software units in multiple ways. Standard structure, what we had was the standard structure. I could have gone with this, would be fine, right? Combined structure is what I have now, like a combined structure of software units or not. And also we can go with a hierarchical structure where we will have multiple software units. And let's see what that is, right? And right now you will see, why does this not work anymore? My main block is now responsible here, is now going on in my general, in the general stuff. So it doesn't know operator panel anymore because operator panel exists in a separate part of the program. So let's pop in the operator panel here. The same goes for operator panel 1 and operator panel 2 here for the data. They exist in a different part of the program, as you can see. However, I do not want to have operator panel 1 inside of my general stuff. I want to have operator panel 1, of course, in my robot 1, and I want to have operator panel 2 in my robot 2 functions there. Right? And then I will still have like the conveyor unit because it's the general stuff, and the robot unit because it is also, let's actually just take the conveyor stuff, right? That is more of a general function, so I'm going to put it in the general tab. And then I have my robot unit. Let's say those are two different functions. Right? I have robot unit and I have robot unit 2, which won't work right now because that is the same number. Just a second here. This needs to be 3, for example. Right? So robot unit is a program that should control robots, so it should be robot exclusive. Robot program 2 should be robot 2 specific. So we now have a wild mix of program blocks responsible for one machine part, some program blocks are responsible for another machine part, and so on. Right? All of this, Jason, good question there. Just to be clear, all of this division is still on one PLC? Yes, you see that. It's all in one PLC. Will this be saved? Hardtooks, yes, this is saved as a VoT, as everything. Did I ever delete a VoT? I think I did off gaming streams, but yeah. Mika asks, kind of ISA 88, each unit is separate completely. Kind of, but not 100%. Right? They are still, right now, yes. They are not really dependent on one another. But you see currently that in the main block of my general PLC here, in the general tab, right, of my general program, which is additional here, general. I'll put that somewhere. Where I have stuff that I want to use everywhere, right? Basically, my communication center, I would say. Right? Now, which will have general communication data. I will call this general data. Right? Now, you see inside of my general tab, of course, I do not know the buttons anymore. And this is also not where the operator panel should go anymore. Right? So I'm going to delete this from my program here. This main block in the general tab should actually not contain anything. So I'm going to delete that right now. Okay, Hardtooks, have a good one. Jason, good question. No. Jason asks, would these units have the ability to run on separate threads? No. Your PLC has one thread, so it has one. In PLCs, it's called the PLC cycle, right? It has one cycle. No, they cannot run in threads. Your PLC has one thread. That's it. If you have a fail-safe CPU, it has two threads. One for your normal program, one for your fail-safe program. Yeah, no, those are all still dependent. Like the PLC cycle is still dependent. However, what I will do is now I'm going to give my robot its own program. So it's going to have its own main program here. I will also give my robot 2 its own main program, which I right now have to call differently than the one that already exists. Main already exists, right? So I have to call it differently, which I will discuss in a second here. Right? And also because you can only have one data block number uniquely in your PLC, it is a different number. So it's not number 1 now, it's 123. So your PLC will first execute main 1, so the main with the number 1, and then the main with the 123. And I will also give my storage its own main block. Right, main 2 right now called. I will also give the second storage its own main block called main 3, and I will also give the supply here its own main block. All right. Now this is already pretty okay. Now if I download my program, If I download my program, I will soon get to the first advantage. I mean, the first advantage is already like separating our program. This is quite nice. Like having a program organized in those units is quite nice. And now if I go online, right, we will see those units. I'm online and everything just works. So now the program right now does robot 1, then robot 2, then storage 1, then supply 2, then supply. Like it goes in the order of the organization blocks. If I want to check that order, right mouse button on my PLC, call structure, and there we go. It does that sequence of things. That's not big advantages yet. We just have a bit of a structure. Let's get to the first really big advantage here. Usually when you have a program and you make changes, what do you have to download? All of your program has to go green, right? All of it. You always download all of the changes. Now, if you have software units, right, I can do the following. Let's assume robot 1 now, right, has the function robot unit, and I am now changing something in the robot unit function, and I just give it random ins and randoms outs, right? Hey Gyoku, hi, how are you doing? Have you already been here? I remember you, but I didn't know you were joining the streams. Did I? If you were here already, I'm like again the last streams. Sorry if I forgot. I'm tired. Please forgive me. So this let's actually just create two variables here, two static variables. Doesn't matter, right? I don't really care about those, but I want to have just. There we go. Hey Sam. Glad you joined. Right? So I have made a change to the robot unit here. Now let's assume I also make changes to robot unit 2. Sure, anything goes, right? I would kind of do very similar changes, but let's assume we have something else. Right? So that we can differentiate between them, they will have different things. And now even worse, right? What I will do in storage 1 is I, of course, will add a new block. This block will be an FC. This FC is broken right now, so I'm going to have errors in the block. Right? So usually if you have a block that is broken, try downloading it to your PLC. You won't be able to. However, I have isolated myself from PLCs, right? I have isolated myself not from PLCs, but from the classic PLC behavior. So what I can do is I can now select my robot here, right mouse button, download only this block here. Software only changes, and I will now only download my robot station. This is so much better than having one general program. If there is one block broken, which there is, right? In storage, I do have. Did I just call it broken? But I just called it broken, but I didn't break it. Sorry. Of course, now it is broken, right? Now, if I compile my storage, you see, oh no, this is broken. I can still select my robot 2, make a guess, compile, download. I don't care. I don't care about the rest. Right? That concept should have been there like forever. Ah, okay, you're always there, but you didn't say. I can remember the days when we played Overwatch. Long, long ago. Right? So I have those isolated units that I can compile isolated from one another and also download isolated. Right? And even I could delete this and then download it to the machine, and then still everything would be fine. The only thing that must not change, if I make a change right now with any of the main blocks, right, I have to download everything, because this is the highest level structure, our main blocks. If I make a change with this, all of it has to be consistent. That's why I created all the main blocks first. Right? So we have those isolated things. This is one of the main advantages of software units. Small isolated programs. Pretty awesome already, if you ask me. Not the only advantage though, right? You can already clap. This is good. I know that I'm jokingly saying this, but this is still already something very powerful. Imagine this: you are working in a team, and each of your team members has to work with another machine part. You have different responsibilities, but you only have one PLC. As it was until now, without software units, you were influencing each other like crazy. You had to ask the others, oh, can I download? Can I go online? Can I test? Can I do things? With software units, you don't care anymore. They can do their thing in their software units. You do your stuff in your software units. Jason, no. I don't think so. I'm not fully 100% confident, but I don't think so, no. You can download and test then and so, but still, I would have to test. I'm just me. Don't know it right now. But I wouldn't say so. Yeah. But still, that is already something really powerful. First big advantage. Let's see. Mahmoud asks or says, if I use interrupt in one of my software units and its unit not execute at the same time, the interrupt will be delayed. I mean, yes, you have your interrupts, you have your like interrupt routine. It doesn't change anything at the call structure, right? Software units don't change your call structure. That's still the same as we would have without software units. So whole FX asks if software units are new to TI version 20. No, they have been there for a longer time already. The only thing that you have to have is that your CPU has to be firmware version, I think, 2.4 or higher. Let me verify that. So if I add a PLC here, let's say any PLC will do. If I have a version, let's see which one would be suited. Yeah, this one. Right. So right here, we should not be able to read software units. Let's scan this real quick. No software units. If I go higher, I think 2.5, there should be software units or even higher. Pretty sure. Maybe it's not listed in the features, but it is a feature in newer PLCs only. It's not a version 20 feature. Ooh, Absolute Alien. Excellent question. Asking there, can we share a tag bet? Whatever a bet is, but can we share tags? So right now, and that's why I set it up in this way, right? Oh, you hit enter. Okay, I understand. Can we share tags? I will get there. Perfect. I thought that was your question. Perfect. Now, with the software unit here, right? You like the question is that can we share between them? Right now we can't. Right? We don't. Like everything is isolated from one another, and that is the first use case here. Sure. Now, one additional thing that I have created, obviously on purpose, like I will still touch a couple more topics here. Now, one more thing, right, that I have added is the broken thing here. Let's actually fix this again. Let's not have this broken because this kind of annoys me. I don't have to fix this, but it's no. Let's keep it. Let's keep that broken. No. Let's keep it broken. I'm sorry. That was just me. I needed to fix things. Okay, now, next thing. One problem, one big issue that I had when I was setting this up. Georg says software units were introduced with TI version 16. Perfect. Thank you very much. So it has been around for a longer time. Yeah. And for hardware, I think it is the version 2.4 firmware version. Yeah. Oh, I just read that they are also, like, they have canceled version 15 and of TI Portal. So you cannot even get the older versions anymore. Okay, perfect. Thank you for looking that up. Now, one thing that annoyed me. And the next thing you will also again be like, crazy. Right? One thing that annoys me crazy right now, let's say we do have robot 1. I want to make a new tag table, and in that tag table, right, I will call this robot. I can't rename it because I'm online. Let's do this. Right? This is right now robot 1 tags. I'll hit enter. I will enter a tag here. Let's call this one sensor robot. It is input 0.0. Doesn't matter what the input is right now. Of course, it's connected to the hardware. Now, let's assume the second robot here obviously also has its own tags. Let's also create a tag table. I need to test one thing though. Yeah, I cannot rename this into robot 1 tags. So I already did the right thing and called it robot 2 tags or so. There we go. And in robot 2 tags, I also want to have a tag called sensor robot. Firmware version 2.6. Thank you, Murat. Thank you very much for looking that up. Perfect. Right? So sensor robot 1, I want this to be called sensor robot. I can't. Why can we not name this sensor robot? Well, because in another tag table with another name, sensor robot already exists. So this like, I don't have the like any, what is it called, like ADHD or something, but I still look at this and I'm like, this, no, OCD, overly compulsive disorder. I don't have that, but I'm still like, this annoys me. UDT, UDT is its own topic. We'll see in a second here, right? I don't have like anything where everything needs to be perfect or so, but this annoys me. Right? I do have 2 separate robot systems. Of course, they will have sensors, and of course, I sometimes want to name my sensors the same way, right? Because right now I have those 2 separate units. Now, in your standard PLC program, you could not have 2 tags with the same name. In the same way, we have main 1, main 2, main 3, main 4, main nothing, right? Nothing can have the same name in our program. Make a guess. Make a guess. Haha. Why am I talking about this? Right. If we, let's see. Mika says if the supply unit interacts with the robot 1, robot 2, and we want to change on supply unit, what would we will see. We will see. Right. You will see. Hey, Matthias. Hello, do the software units use more CPU power? No, they don't. They use, of course, some memory, but don't. It's still the same old standard PLC cycle. Maybe a little bit, but nothing. It's neglectable. Okay, now for robot 1 and robot 2, I want to have the same stupid name for my sensors. And this is where try turning it on a fucking 9. No, we're not going to turn this off and on. It wouldn't work even. I know that. Now, what we want to do, or what we can do, and this is a concept from so many other programming environments as well, is right now our PLC itself, right? Everything that we create right now in our PLC exists in the and now I'm going to write something in the chat. In the same so-called namespace. A namespace is what the name indicates. It's a space where everything shares the same name. Everything starts with PLC_1, so to say. Right? Hi, CRC error. Just back from the office. Enjoy your evening. Why did you join? Why do you join programming streams? Oh my goodness. But hi. enjoy your evening. So I'm hi, you very welcome. And Ismail as well, thank you very much. Or Ismail, sorry. Yes, so, right, everything exists in the same namespace, which is a concept you will see in many programming environments. Meaning sensor robot 1 and sensor robot, they exist in the same namespace, right? Imagine, I mean, this shit exists, but still. Imagine you have your family and everyone in your family. If you have kids, you're probably gonna give every kid a different name, right? So you will not have the same the same name in your kids like 10 times. I don't even know if that would be legal. I doubt it would be legal in Germany to have 10 kids there that are all called Philip. That'd be fantastic though, but still. No, because they all exist in the same namespace. But obviously, your neighbors are a different family. They live in a different namespace, so they can have their they can also be named Philip, right? And Jason, that would still be okay. We do have Bobby 1, we do have Bobby 2, but we don't have Bobby. Philip the first, Philip the second. And that's what we always do, right? So if I do have those software units, let's actually take advantage of those and create something called namespaces, which I will create now for each of those. Now, when we created a software unit, you maybe realized I skipped this part. There is a namespace preset. This namespace preset, when we create the block, the software unit, means that everything that we have in the software unit will actually have this prefix. So namespace is kind of a prefix, right? So I would click cancel here. I should have done this when I created it, but well, we want to learn, right? So I'm creating it now. So I'm gonna go with each of my blocks, right mouse button, properties, and then there is a namespace preset. So I want to have, right? Each of my units should have their own namespace, and which I see now on the right side here. So my general block, everything that is in there will always now start with general dot. Now robot 1, we could call, this is now Bobby. The first robot is called Bobby, right? What's the second? Give me a name. So give me names for robot 2, storage 1, storage 2, supply. Of course, in reality, you would give good names, but go for it, right? Give me names. Clarence. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm also gonna do like if you have the spelling, I'm gonna go with your spelling. Clarence. I would have spelled that probably differently, right? Let's see. More names. Give me any names. Not just Jason. I want to see random names in there. The next message is there. Hegamol. So Isaac, that's a good idea. Our storage 1 is going to be called Isaac. I got you there. Let's see. I don't use good names. Are you kidding? R2D2. So the storage 2 is our R2D2, right? Right. And so on. Now everything that I basically create inside of those stations, and if you have R2D2, we will have C3PO. Right? So I'm not going to give it my name, any of those. Right? So they now have the preset namespace, those things. Right? Which is right now not applied, unfortunately. Oh no, there is. For some of those I pressed apply, for some of those I did not. So right now let's look at Bobby and Clarence. Bobby and Clarence here. Right? And as you knew from before, right? I have my robot 1 tags and I have my robot 2 tags, which is sensor robot for Bobby, which is sensor robot 1 for Clarence. And if you have like a numbering system, you know that sensor that Clarence here, which is robot 2, will be like, why am I number 2? Why can't I be number 1? Why can I not be the original? Hey, make a guess. Clarence? Why? Why did that not work? Well, wait, do I? There. What the? 1 second. Of course it doesn't work for, those are global variables. Of course it doesn't work for global variables. Sorry. Oh no, it doesn't work for global tags. Global tags here with the inputs and outputs, of course they are available for your whole program. This doesn't work. My bad, sorry. Does it work with the tag tables though? No, yeah. Those are global. Why did I think that would work? Sorry. The global scope, Hakan. Yes, of course, the global scope doesn't work. My bad. But I have prepared something else there, right? Oh no, they they will learn to share in a second there. Let's see at the block store, right? Let's not use the tags was a misinformation. That was me rushing everything. It works for data block store. I will show that in a second, which we have. That's why we have the operator panels, right? Now, Bobby has the main block. Clarence has the main one. No. They should both have the main block. You see? Now, Bobby and Clarence, they have their main block. So they are now Bobby.main and we have Clarence.main. Right? Why do I stop there? I also want to have Bobby.robotUnit and I want to have Clarence.robotUnit. Right? Why do I stop there? I want to have Bobby.operatorPanel and I want to have Clarence.operatorPanel. Right? Sorry, of course, with global tags, with PLC tags, it cannot work because those are unique in the program. That was absolutely my bad. And I knew about it. I was just going too fast there. Right? So now I can have the same name multiple times in my project. Those are, right? This is perfectly legit right now. I can do that. Right? So I can, this of course doesn't work. Where am I? Robot 2, Clarence. There we go. So that is a huge advantage when working with namespaces, because now everything, right, can be duplicates kind of in your program, except for global tags. That was stupid. That was me. Right? A little Bobby and Clarence, as I said, have not learned to share. They will in a second. So there we go. Now, because I've made changes, of course, now Clarence, Bobby, not the same anymore. Nothing here is the same anymore, so I will have to recompile. You see, everything kind of has issues. The one that has still issues is Isaac. We don't care about Isaac. Let's download the rest. I want to see what the difference here is. So, except for Isaac, I want to download all of them. There we go. Download. And everything's fine except Isaac again. Looks similar to SQL because, well, it looks similar to SQL because it's data-based now. It's namespace now. That's how things are. Now, there are still more concepts here to touch. We now have namespaces. This is nice, right? This is very nice. Not all of your blocks. Did I apply it accidentally for all of them? Did I just do that? I did not realize it, but that's fine. Oh yeah. Now inside of your program, inside of your it's the main fucking function. Now, inside of your program, you can still say inside of your namespaces, inside of your software units, you can say work with or without namespace. You see, my main 4 and my main 3, they do have those curly brackets here. Not curly, they have those square brackets. So this means they are still working on the global, right? They are still on the global namespace. You don't have to use those namespaces, right? You want to, but you don't have to. And if you go on any block, right mouse button and properties, you will actually see how is this block called in the PLC, right? So of Seed3PO here, its main 4 is actually called OB main 4. This name must be unique. So of course we want to have every block here in the same namespace, in the correct namespace. And if I could now give a block a different, any random namespace, if a block is in the same namespace as its software unit, the namespace will not be listed though, because that is what we usually want to have. So this is R2D2. You see, main 3 is now okay again, so main 3 is this unique kind of thing. Main 4, same thing. You can have any wild mix, but I recommend not mixing it too much. There we go. Let's see, chat. I wasn't reading there for a second. Let's see. Ketchu says, good to have me back. Thank you. Good being back. Let's see. Right. So that is pretty great. So we have 2 things already. We can separately download those things, analyze them, work with them. That's great, having software units. And the second thing, we have now the capability of using so-called namespaces. That's pretty good. Now let's assume we're taking this one step further, and inside of Clarence, right? Inside of Clarence, we do have robot unit and main, which are in the same namespace, but I can of course also have inside of this more blocks. I will call this one different, and this one is in another namespace. Right? Now you see I can have a mix. And if I now, and this is quite cool actually, if I now use this the robot unit inside of Clarence, which is the same namespace, the main and robot unit, you see they are both in the Clarence namespace. Right mouse button, properties, you see actually the OB is called obclarence.main. The robot unit is actually called okay, yeah, no, of course they are still called robot unit. Nevertheless, if I use the robot unit, you will see nothing special there. If I now use different from another namespace, you will actually see the official name now of this block different is underscore, which means this is inside of another namespace, dot, the namespace name, another dot different. Right? So our program can grow very, very much in its complexity. Of course, in such a small program, absolutely irrelevant. In bigger programs, whoo, this is important. Why do I have this twice now? Oh, I created it twice. Oh, let me delete this and then pop this in. Okay. Now, there was a question early on where I said, hey, I'm going to talk about this in a second. Hey, Jason, you're completely correct. Naming it another is a bad name for another namespace. 100% agree. That's not what we're talking. That's not what it is about. Right? Now, one more thing is the following. I do have the general thing here for general data. Right? Let's assume in the general data we have, I don't know what user logged in or something, the current user. Right. This is, of course, like global data, general data that should be available by all other namespaces, by all other software units as well. Right? And this, of course, would be a string, whatever. You see that? And maybe we have another thing, production counter, whatever that is, a global production counter. Right? And that is, of course, maybe an integer. Right? Now, those tags, those variables here, are currently only available for my general inside of the general inside of the general software unit. Right? I cannot use this in, for example, Bobby. Right? If I try to go in here Bobby and I try to let's have another Boolean, which makes it easier, a general on, right, which is Boolean. Right? Now inside of Bobby now, I can not use this general data on. Right? You see it's red because it comes from another software unit. As we have established, software units are separated from one another. It knows that this software unit here, it knows that tag exists. General data on, which might control an LED here. Inside of Bobby, we have operator panel. This general on maybe will control the LED. Future. Are we attempting to make TI object-oriented? It goes into that direction, kind of. It actually does. I don't like it, but it kind of like orients more and more in that direction. It's not fully, we kind of go in that direction, but not fully. It takes some concepts from it. Yeah, which I don't like, but different story. Yeah. Now, where was I? Right. The general data on here, right? This is inside of my general data. Now, because, and I will have to make a decision here, right? General right now is disconnected from the rest, right? Robot is disconnected from the rest. Each of those is disconnected from the others, which is good because now I can download and work with those separately. Now, what you would still generally do is, of course, have at least one of those that has like global data that it can share with the others. Or in our system here, we could. Do I still have the screenshot from earlier on? Yes, perfect. Right. Whoops. Now we could look at our system and we would have to analyze it. We would have to think about this, but they with each other should actually have so-called relations. Right? So robot 1, for example, should actually be able to work together. We could use pointers. I'm not going to use pointers. No, it's exactly the opposite. Robot 1 should make a relation to our storage 1, should also make a relation to general. Right? So those should kind of make relations with one another. So they are not going to be completely disconnected anymore, but still we will have a disconnect there. Right? So those will be connected. Then we will have another connection. Those will be kind of connected. And then we will have also the connection to the main, to general here. So this will also be connected. Right? Or in other words, not drawing circles, but there will be a relation. So general will also be able to interact with robot and robot 2. Robot 2 wants to interact with storage 2, and robot 1 wants to be interacting with storage 1. Right? The supply is still completely, let's say it's completely doing its own thing. Now this, what we have here, are so-called relations. And I will have to teach my system those relations. Use global memory? No. That is exactly the opposite concept of what we want to have. You would be kind of correct, but kind of no. Yeah. Now what we want to set up is so-called relations. You see, right now, Bobby, good old Bobby, robot 1, cannot access the data from the general data that we have. So what I need to do is I need to tell Bobby, hey Bobby, unfortunately, you are your own unit, so most of it will still be its own thing. But right mouse button, not right mouse button, opening it up, there is the Relations tab. Right? Now, if I open up the Relations tab, you will see if you want to access elements outside of the software unit, you must create a relation. You can only access elements in another software unit if they have been published. That's an important thing soon. Right? But if Bobby wants to access anything from general, or if Bobby wants to access anything from my old program structure, if I would have a data block, an old data block or an old technology object, right, I would have to tell Bobby, please make a relation with another software unit, another data block, or another technology object. In our case, we want to have data from our general. There we go. And right now, robot 1, Bobby in our case, can use data from general. We're not going to use memory. Now, why is it still red? Right? This, of course, is a safety-wise system as well. General, like our general, does not give the general data yet. It is restricted. Right? Now we can decide for each software unit what of its data should be accessible from the outside. Just because Bobby and General have a relation does not mean that General is going to tell Bobby everything. Right? Imagine relationships where you tell your significant other or any of your friends or so everything. Just because you have any kind of relationship means everything? No. That's not going to happen. Right? So what we have to say is inside of general now, right? I need to say which of its data can be used on the outside. This is so-called publishing the data. So I need to say which block can be used on in other software units. So right mouse button, properties, and then there is the so-called published access. And you see if I turn it on, right? You will see two things. First thing is Bobby now has access to the data. That's what we see. The second thing is general data is going to get a green little square, meaning this has been published. This can be accessed by other blocks. There we go. General has a lot of seen showcase over there. Yes, General has a lot of relationships here, and that is pretty common. If you have one machine part that is supposed to be your data center or so, of course that is going to have relations everywhere. Right? There we go. Right now, unfortunately, what we have is the following. If now, I can still not download everything because good old broken is still broken, which I forgot who it was, but I'm gonna assume it's none of these. Now, one thing that we have lost kind of now is if we make a change here within good old general, right? Could be anything. Let's create a block. Doesn't matter. I'll just create an empty block. I don't care, right? And we also make a change now in good old Bobby. They do have a relation, right? So if I now try to download Bobby, and I'm not 100% sure actually, but should be. Oh no, I have to make something. I have to, of course, make a change in the related data. Let's see. Sorry. Let's delete that block again. There we go. And then I do make a change in the related data here. Something new, for example. Right. And now I should not be able, if I remember correctly, I should not be able to now download Bobby. Yeah, I cannot download Bobby because something that is related to Bobby has still compilation issues. So you see block namespace general data that is accessed has not been compiled. So now, because I have made Bobby and general have a relation, I can only download Bobby if general also has been downloaded, in order for my program here to keep its consistency. Right? That is, of course, now the disadvantage because Bobby has this relation. The other way will still work, right? Just because Bobby has a relation with general does not mean that general has a relation with Bobby. Right? The general, if I make any changes in Bobby, and then I want to download general, I can download general without ever talking to Bobby, right? Those, I think, let's see, yeah. No, I need to now consistent, is it? Oh no, I actually need to download, screw off. Theoretically, yes, but I have to do it in this case. But yeah. Now what I have to do, of course, is I can now say Bobby, right mouse button, download, and that's why we have copy, download to device with affected software units, right? Which will now also download general. So we have lost this feature of being able to download independently if we change something with the interfaced data, which we most of the time will not do, right? If you have your data, your base data set, you usually don't fiddle around with it too much. I can still do anything else inside of general, but I cannot fiddle around with the published data. Or I shouldn't. Yeah, That's already that is quite a lot. I know this is getting into areas where it is complicated. Lucky for you, you have the recording. Yeah. There we go. Right. There was definitely something else that I wanted to show, and I just right now forgot. Give me a second, because I'm so tired. Can't tell you how tired I am. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, of course, 100%. Yeah, sure, I forgot. The same also goes for functions and function blocks, right? Now, if I want to use, for example, Bobby here, good old Bobby, has its main block. Right now there is, I could use the robot unit, which is a Bobby exclusive program. I also, of course, want to use conveyor function and also the operator panel function inside of good old Bobby. So I can now take this from what's it called? From general. He should have a better name, but that's okay. From general. But you see, of course, from general, this one right now. Or, okay, short quiz. Right now, I take the operator panel from general. I try to put that into Bobby here. So Bobby tries to access general operator panel. Why does it not allow me to do that? It allows me to access the data here from general data. I cannot use the operator panel. Why is that the case? Quiz for you. Test, test, test. I should be back. Am I back? Am I back? Oh, I'm back. Okay, sorry. Yes. Zinger. Sorry. Could always happen. I got a message like, oh, you got disconnected. I'm like, I didn't do anything. I should have just stayed off. Which I will do soon because energy is running low, as I said. But Zinger said also the right thing. If I scroll up there, operator panel right now is not accessible by anything else because it is not published, right? Oh my god, Pepper! How could I? Oh no! Wait, let me do that at the end of the stream, actually, Pepper. Thank you very much. Was my chance to leave. But the operator panel right now is, of course, not published. So I have to go on the properties, and you see every block individually has to be published if you want to use it on the outside. The great thing about this published block now is I can use it inside of Bobby, and I can also use it inside of Robot 2 of Clarence that we haven't talked about for a long time. I can also use operator panel. Why does that not work? Second quiz. Second quiz. Why is that red? And maybe the internet disconnects again. I don't know. We'll see. Who has been listening? Right. We are right now in Clarence, right? So for Bobby it works, no problem. Zinger, good point, right? But as you know, operator panel has the dot. Operator panel has been published, right? Ah, meager or meager there. Very good point. Robot 2, we have told Robot 2, please be your own unit, right? Right? Please be. God, they didn't fight, no, Haka. Right? They will need to get into a relation there, right? So Clarence right now is just working on its own. He does not accept anything from the outside, so he can work fully standalone. But, right? Of course, Clarence also needs to go into a relation with General here, which we haven't done previously. And now, if they have a relation, you see, Clarence can also work with the stuff that General has published. It is just like reality, right? It's just like people. It's just like everyone has their relations, and then in those relations, they sometimes share some of the published stuff, sometimes they don't. Exactly like in real. Not exactly, but the concept is there. Yes, Ruka also used that relation. Very good. Yeah. So this is the concept here, right? There is more to it, to those software units, but this is the main concept, which, if you ask me, is pretty cool. That we can use namespaces, that we can share along different machine parts, along different software units in this case. This makes setting up more complex systems with their structure much easier. It doesn't really give us any new features. Everything that we could always do, we can still do that, but it is about organizing our program, about also working together. If you have now multiple people working on the same project, this is much more convenient. It's much more robust, right? It is a good, cool concept that is definitely there to stay, right? So software units are a way in the future. Not every program is going to have it, but I would say many, many programs. I like it, personally do. Of course, I don't do too complex projects. So if I just have a smaller project, I'm not going to do this. But for bigger projects, definitely a thing that makes a lot of sense. Hey, Cortex. May I ask? Can make. Let's see. Hello, may I ask how I can make the relative move block for a stepper motor activate automatically without having to turn it off and on? Jason can probably answer that. Stepper motor sounds like Jason stuff. It's like whether you allow your wife to have access to your cell phone. I'll just agree. Yep. You'll get that one. Perfect. Perfect. So one thing that I completely forgot, right? For the whole time, of course, I don't speak about software units on my Udemy, but I always pin it. I did not pin my Udemy at the beginning. How could I? Right? Because I... Why do I have a file in the folder that says top Kommentar mit Link unpin? That's not what I want to do. No, 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 no. Oh, I opened the wrong folder. I do need TIA Tuesday. My desktop looks so cluttered, I need to clean up at some point. How could I forget about our TIA Tuesday topics folder here with, of course, my referral code and my Udemy training there? How could I dare not talking about it? Go out there, get my Udemy training now with the link. You don't have to. This is just like, I do it every time. I just forgot it. That should just tell you how tired I am. It would help. Do it, but you don't have to. Right? Can I add library blocks to software units? Of course you can. Yes, of course. Software units are just their own like software units. You can use library blocks. You can do almost everything in there. What you cannot do, right? Emil says, yeah, just been part of a big project where you had one central unit and many software units. Therefore, of course, that is a nightmare, but it's cool and it's powerful. Instead of having 10 different PLCs, you just have one. It's just crazy. Of course, this concept has way more that we could discuss in like 2 hours here. Now let's see. Now there are some things that are not really possible with software units there, though, right? For example, and that is gonna be something that is gonna trigger Jason here. You cannot use pointers. Even better, you cannot use unoptimized blocks. So if I now go to my general data here, for example, I cannot turn off the optimized block access. So the whole concept of software units relies on the concept of using names instead of addresses, no pointers. That's what PLCs are designed for nowadays. So everything has to be optimized. That is a very important concept there. Zinger asked if I'm still playing with cursor. I've used it every now and then since last week, yeah. Let's see. Let's look at questions there. I need to read the chat there for a second. Jason, yes, I'm sorry. It's not optimal. You cannot use pointers. It has to be name-based. It's all about namespaces from here, right? Sorry for you. Welcome to 2025, almost 26. So let's get. Let me look at some questions. Can I actually display the chat? Wait, can I just do this and then have the chat? I mean, I should just integrate that in on the stream, but I can also do this, right? Let's see, scene showcase. So if I want to share a tag between two software units, then I have to make a relation between two units and publish the data block. If you have data block variables, yes, that's what it's supposed to be doing. If you have global PLC tags, right, which this is still global PLC tags, you can still use global, like global PLC tags that are also outside, you can use in your software units. Right? But global PLC tags from outside of software units, I mean like the classical ones that we have, if you have software units here, if you have tags in your software units, you will still have to publish those tag lists. Right? Sure. Let's see. There were probably more questions. Let's see. Let's see. Gyoku talks about TI version 21. I haven't looked at TI version 21 yet. ROS2 connector and customers already want PLCs connected directly to large language models. And yes, of course, it's all about AI. I do understand that. I do. Yes, of course. And it's also about, edge computing and so on and so on. There are many, many topics. You are correct. Of course, there is more out there. But I also see that the people that also upgrade to TIA version 21, right? This is like on the market. This is like less than 1%, right? You have to see that most of the stuff out there, most of the factories, most of industry, is still stuck in the hey, we are lucky that we have a PLC, right? Not everything is going to be like the AI stuff. Like we're still far from it, right? So there is a bandwidth of all other different things, right? But you are right, of course. Like people already ask for it, especially the rich companies out there. But there's not only rich companies. If I would care about rich companies and about the money only, I would not have a free YouTube channel where I do content that costs like thousands and thousands of euros if you want to learn this. I would not do this free if I would only look at the rich boys. Sorry. Then we have Jason's where you help Cortex. Thank you very much. Hakan asks if Siemens has version control, which I won't talk about, but Siemens blocks can be version controls if you use libraries, right? So for example, very, very quick, just to answer the question, just because it is there. So I do have my project library here, for example, and there is something called types, right? Now a type, pop this in there. A type is a version control thing. So you can upgrade this, you can go between different versions. Right? So different now has different versions, and it is also version controlled. You see with the little triangle there. So simple answer, yes. Not going in details. Let's see. Cortex says, I'll join it now. You don't have to go with the Udemy thing, right? I'm sorry. You can, but don't. I always put this there, though. Let's see. Emil, the coolest thing was the lights blinking on the same 1 second pulse. I don't know what this was referring to, but yep, you're right. Cool. Let's see. So Absolute Alien, you are correct. Yes, if you use software units, we do not have access to global addresses, to absolute addresses. That concept of absolute addresses shouldn't be there anymore. Kind of. Of course it is, but we kind of want to move into using names. Let's see, Zinger, yes, you can use external source files. You can use external source files also inside of software units. Yeah, so what I've done last week is possible in software units. So Scene Showcase says, is it possible to share a TIA project and work at the same time? Yes. Simple answer, yes. I do have a video about this. I haven't looked at that in so long. I don't even know what it's called. It is called a multi-user project. Yeah. Right. Why do I get an ad on my own? This is my own video. Why is an ad blasting at me? I'm even logged in as myself. I get a second ad? Come on. uh, if you are working with other people, you want to maybe look at so-called multi-user projects. There is a video of this guy. Young and fresh, has a lot of energy, is wearing glasses. I don't wear glasses anymore. I have laser eyes now. So I had my eyes lasered. God, he's got a lot of energy. What's wrong with this guy? But yes, multi-user projects do exist. You can work at the same time at the same project. Which doesn't mean with the same hardware, different thing. Let's see. Emil says it. Project servers are possible. Yeah, exactly. Works reasonably well. Yeah, exactly what Emil says. Yeah. Sorry, I should have just read further. Perfect. So then I would say I am tired. Software units. I touched like the base concept. There is more to it. Right? So we could go more in there, but this is the main concept for our software units here, which is cool concepts. This is good. It goes more into the direction of classical high-level programming, kind of also going in the direction of object-oriented. We're looking more at like objects. It's not really object-oriented, right? Sure, but it kind of goes into the direction with some concepts there. Yeah. So now it's been, I had this like in the title of the stream, it already said like, hey, this is going to be a short one. I thought it would be like half an hour. I'm so tired. I've been talking about TIA Portal for 10 hours today now. I need to get a life. So what I'm going to do now is the VoT of this will be available, right? So yes, I will now answer the last questions if there are some, and then I will take Jason's advice there to go take a nap before bed. If I take a nap now, that's going to end in like a 10-hour nap. Yeah. So let's see some last questions going in there while I slowly phase out. Let's see, Gyoko. AI is not only what, of course, no, I know, Gyoko. But you mentioned also like technologies that are closer to the machines. But definitely AI is available. Like I've made an AI video last week, right? But there is still hardware and software integration, like the Siemens Industrial Copilot and Siemens Openness and Siemens AX, right? And Siemens AX, which are very expensive, powerful tools, but very expensive, and especially for industry. The powerful tools that will help you a lot with integration, they will stay expensive for a while. Of course, you have your free, semi-free alternatives of AI and so on, but those won't be as comfortable. But you're completely right. Yes. Yeah. And now we would talk about, if we talk about percentages, what do you mean with percentages? Do you mean people working there? Do you mean revenue? Do you mean profit? Do you mean ROI? Do you mean not going into like oh God, Kaufmannschaft, kaufmännische Sachen? Oh, that's not my field. I just do free stuff. I just want everyone to improve. Let's see. Ram, last question there. Ram asked, how about UDTs? Do we have to share them to be able? Yes. Ram, very, very good question, right? Every UDT has their own PLC data types, and the concept is the same. If you create a new PLC data type, what is it named? What is this? I will have to look at this. This is only for... Right? This is only for the one software unit. If I want to access this from other software units, they have to make a relation. They have to be published. Yeah. There we go. I'm priceless. Thank you very much. I think that's what I will. that's the note that we will end on, right? That I am priceless. We all are in our own. In our own little space, in our own little environment. We all live in our own, right, software units, right? Hey, Royce, unfortunately, I'm just wrapping up. Yes, we all live in our own little software units, in our own bubble where we're all priceless. which is true. Like this is how it is. But right, I am going to now phase out, go back into my own little bubble. That's been too much TIA Portal today. I'm gonna need a rest from this. I'm gonna continue with TIA Portal tomorrow at like 8 in the morning, and I'm gonna have a full day class, which is fun, but a lot of energy is going into this. Right? Perfect. If you want to support me, hey, there's a link. There's a link attached to the top there. Have a beer before sleep. Whirlins. Thank you very much. I I used to be like I studied, of course, in Germany, place of all places. There, I drank so much. I drank more alcohol in my life than I would ever need. I barely drink any beer nowadays. I'm not against alcohol, but man, my body doesn't like it anymore. I'm getting old, and I've had so much over the course of my life. I've had enough. So maybe I'll have a beer soon, but not today anymore. I'll just fall into bed. It wasn't a short one after all. You're completely correct. Pepper still asks there, how does the C-Train courses work? Well, you Google it, and then you choose topics that you want, and then you pay the money, and then you go to the course, either online or in person. And then you get taught a lot of stuff. Very, very well organized. But that's a topic in itself. So I don't want to mix the official Siemens word too much with my YouTube kind of sphere here. Hello, love from India. Thank you very much. Pay lots and lots of money. Depends on. It's industrial training. I've attended industrial trainings that are way more expensive than Siemens trainings. I have also joined trainings that are cheaper. Doesn't matter too much, right? This is our sphere here. So what I will do now, I will finally phase out. My ears aren't that red anymore, so I'm not that tired right now, but I will be very tired in like half a minute there. Sorry, logical controls, that you missed most of the stream. I will hopefully be back next week. It might be that I skip next week, right? For, of course, Christmas reasons, if I'm like out there with my family, with my friends, and so on. Don't know yet. I will let you know. I always set those up like the day before, right? I will set those up the day before I stream, so we will see. If I have the time, I'll maybe make a short one, maybe not. If I don't see you, right, have a great Christmas time if you celebrate Christmas. If not, then still have a great Christmas time. Celebrate yourself. That also be something. Yeah. And thank you for joining. Much appreciated. This is fun. I thought like 2 hours ago, I was sitting on my couch like half an hour after I finished the course. I was like, God, do I have the energy for this now? TIA Tuesday. And I was like, let's do it. And I'm happy I did. I'm happy I did. Thank you very much. Abdullah, yes. PLC Sim Advanced can connect to the physical world. That's what PLC Sim Advanced is used for. There we go. Yes. Good. Thank you. I will see you the next time around. This was not a short one. This was 1 hour 40. Still the shortest that I did this far. Much appreciated. Go get some rest, you as well. I will see you when I see you. Hopefully next week. I'll let you know. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining. Bye. Bye-bye.